Magical treats taste great, but justice and equality taste better. To combat hate, all ad revenue from my HB Kitchen will be donated to trans and LGBTQ charities. Thank you for supporting the kitchen and helping make the world a better place. Mischief managed.
Hello witches, wizards, and those who have just escaped from Azkaban. Welcome back to my Harry Potter Kitchen, the YouTube series where we're baking our way through the Harry Potter books, creating magical recipes for every item of food and drink that we find inside. If you missed last week's recipe where we created some salami flavoured dinner rolls in the shape of Aunt Marge's hands, then check out the link down below in the description to catch up. And if you're new to the kitchen and you want to see some more Harry Potter recipes, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. Speaking of which, it's Monday, so let's get back into the book. This week we are moving on to chapter 3 of the Prisoner of Azkaban, The Night Bus. Harry has fled Privet Drive, had a bit of a scare with a black dog in an alleyway, and then he has found the night bus. He meets Stan, and that's where we see our next recipe while he's buying a ticket. But for 13 you get hot chocolate. It's been a stressful night, so I'm sure a hot chocolate will go down well. I do love hot chocolate, and last year during the Chamber of Secrets we created some magical hot chocolate stirrers where all you needed to do was add them into some hot milk and it would dissolve into the most incredible drink. So I wanted to do another version of this, but add in some extra Hogwarts House magic and of course give you another reason to show your house pride. So this recipe is going to be my twist on the current tea bomb craze. We're going to create a lovely hot chocolate in a ball which we can add into some hot chocolate, and then as it dissolves it will reveal what Hogwarts house you are in. Of course you can't have hot chocolate without marshmallows, so we're going to make some Hogwarts House marshmallows as well. This is what you need to do first. First, you want to bloom your gelatin by placing the leaves into some cold water and setting aside for 5 minutes until soft. While those are softening, you can move on to making the sugar syrup by heating your sugar, liquid glucose and water until it reaches 120 degrees Celsius. You can swirl the pan to help it dissolve, but be careful not to stir too vigorously. Once it hits temperature, you can then add in the gelatin and the remaining water before stirring through nice and slowly. For our meringues, I'm going to separate our egg whites as that's all we need for this recipe, and then pouring into a mixing bowl, whisking that through until it's nice and foamy. Keep on whisking as you slowly pour in your sugar syrup. It should fall in at a nice gentle pace. Once all the sugar syrup has been incorporated, you want to carry on whisking for between 5 to 10 minutes. You should see it go thick and glossy like marshmallows. At this point I'm going to flavour with some vanilla and then carry on whisking that through. You'll know it's ready when you can touch the side of your bowl, and it should be nice and cooled. Separate your meringues into 4 bowls, and then I'm going to dye that into the Hogwarts House colours using some food colouring gels. Once those are nice and evenly coloured, I'm going to make our marshmallow coating. This is an even mixture of icing sugar and corn flour. You want to prepare your silicone mould or baking tin by lightly greasing them and then covering with your icing sugar corn flour mixture before pouring in your marshmallow mix. Once these are full, you can scrape off the top to make sure they're nice and even, and then pop them into the fridge to set for at least 4 hours, but preferably overnight. We've covered the art of tempering chocolate quite a few times in the series so far, so you should know by now it will give us a beautiful shine on our finished product, and it will also have that lovely snap to it as well. This is really important for these hot chocolate bombs, as it means as soon as it hits that hot milk, it will help dissolve that even quicker. I'm going to show you how to do the half temper trick, which is super easy, super quick, and just as effective. Of course, if you want to go all out and get the full shine by doing a full temper, then you can give that a go too. When you're ready to create your hot chocolate bombs, we want to cut up half of your chocolate into small pieces and then place that into a bowl over simmering water, stirring until nice and melted. Once that's lovely and smooth, you can then remove that from the heat and pop that to one side. Use this time to chop up the remaining chocolate. Slowly add in the chopped chocolate a bit at a time, stirring through until completely melted. This will gently lower the temperature of your chocolate and will temper it. Once all your melted chocolate has been combined, I'm then going to pour the white chocolate into my silicone molds. You want to gently swirl the chocolate around the mold so you get a nice even coating. I'm then going to leave them in the mold for about 1 to 2 minutes before continuing to swirl them around, and this will help build up a thicker coat. At this point you can scrape any excess from the top and then flip your mold over onto a wire rack with a baking tray underneath to allow any melted chocolate to drip out. Turn back over, clean up the edges, and then pop that into the fridge to set. After about 10 minutes you can take them out and do a quick check. If you're happy with the thickness, you can use them as they are, but if you want a slightly thicker shell, I then take some more melted chocolate and use a brush to paint the insides. Because we've got that nice smooth undercoat, that will give us that nice shiny outside, so it doesn't matter too much if the inside isn't completely smooth. Repeat the process of tipping that out and cleaning up the sides before placing back into the fridge. While the chocolate shells are setting, you can make the white chocolate ganache for the center of our bombs. This is super easy as well. All you need to do is heat up some double cream, chop up some more of your white chocolate, and then separate that into your 4 bowls. I'm also going to split the cream into 4 and then dye each into our Hogwarts House colours, whisking until nice and smooth. Pour the hot coloured cream over the chopped chocolate and leave that for about 1 to 2 minutes. This will help melt the chocolate, so then all you need to do is stir that through until it's nice and smooth. Pop that to one side to cool and allow it to thicken up. At this point you can also finish off the preparation for your marshmallows. Dust some of the icing sugar and corn flour mix onto your worktop before removing the marshmallows from the mould. We need to make sure these can fit inside our hot chocolate bombs, so I'm going to chop them up into some small cubes. Once they're all sliced, you want to transfer them into your corn flour mixture, coating them well and then using a colander to dust off any excess icing sugar. Keep working through them until each of your Hogwarts House colours are complete. So those are all of our hot chocolate ingredients prepped and ready to go. So the last thing on the list is to assemble them into our hot chocolate bombs. Then they'll be ready to pop into some hot milk and reveal which Hogwarts house we're in. Now, if you're not going to use them straight away, you can keep them in the fridge, and it's important to do that because we have cream in the chocolate ganache, but there is quite a high sugar content in there, so they'll last in the fridge for about 5 days to a week. Of course, when they taste this good, they're not going to be around for long. To assemble your Hogwarts House hot chocolate bombs, you want to start by removing the shells from their mould. Once they're freed, I'm then going to place them back into the mould, as this is going to give us some much needed support. Fill your half shells with marshmallows and an assortment of candy if you like, just to help it explode with colour when we add our milk later. You then want to pour over about a teaspoon of your Hogwarts House coloured ganache, and then add any extra marshmallows or candy you like. Dip the remaining half shells into some more melted white chocolate before sticking on top. Run your finger along the edge to try and get a nice smooth edge. Those are then going to go back into the fridge to set up until we're ready to serve. Once the seal on your chocolate bombs has set, you can then pop those out of the mould and tidy up any of the outsides if the chocolate has spilled through. I just like to take a sharp knife and run this around the edge, and also have a look out for any gaps. It's super easy just to plug those with some extra melted chocolate. If you'd like to add an extra splash of magic, you can decorate the outside with some edible glitter spray. I've gone for silver, as it will add some sparkle without changing the colour of our hot chocolate bombs. When you're ready to bring these to life and serve them up with some magic, all you need to do is heat up your milk until it's nice and hot, but not boiling. Place a bomb into the bottom of each of your glasses and then pour the milk on top. The hot chocolate shell should start to melt straight away, but you want to leave it in there a minute for the ganache to melt through too. You then want to give that a good stir and your Hogwarts House colour should shine through. And with that, our Hogwarts House hot chocolate bombs are complete. The only thing more magical than the sorting ceremony is when it's edible. Our magical Hogwarts House inspired hot chocolate bombs are complete. Let me know down below in the comments, are you going to give this one a go, and which Hogwarts house are you hoping for? That's all for this week's recipe, but if you want to see more from my Harry Potter kitchen, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and click on the notification bell so you get an alert every Magic Monday when there's a brand new recipe. I'm off to enjoy all of these hot chocolates, so I'll see you next week.